Hey, welcome inside this episode of Zippity's Garage. Thanks for pushing that play button. I'm going to ask you to indulge me a little bit here because this intro is not going to be quick. There's no way to talk to you about what I'm going to show you in this video in a quick 10-second introduction. So please indulge me, bear with me. I want to go over what you're going to see in this video. Quite frankly, I'm not certain how long the video is going to be after all of the edits. But hopefully you think it's worth it, and stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to input a bunch of still photographs, set it to some music, covering all of the things that I saw out of Corvettes at Carlisle this past weekend. So please stick around, get through the introduction, and then we'll get out to Carlisle here in just a minute or two. So like I said, I just got back from Corvettes at Carlisle 2025. I believe it was the second largest show field ever. Believe they were within 20 or 30 cars of the most cars attending Corvettes at Carlisle ever. So it shows you how strong the hobby is. And I like to call this event Friends and Corvettes at Carlisle because, quite frankly, I've been going to this event for over 20 years. I absolutely love it. I get to meet make new friends every year and return to Corvettes at Carlisle and see friends that I haven't seen since last Corvettes at Carlisle. Or maybe I saw them at the Corvette Museum at the Bash or one of the anniversary celebrations or the Caravan. So it's a great opportunity to reconnect and make new friendships. But also want to start out with some thank yous. Got to start out with Team Chevrolet and Team Corvette with Devin Blue, Tony Roma, Josh Holder, plus the recently retired Harlan Charles was there, Kirk Benyon was there, and Kim Hunt was there. So thank you to those three for making the trek out and still supporting the Corvette hobby even in your retirement. So huge thank you to those folks. Then obviously Judy Miller and Lance Miller and the entire Miller family. Lance's nieces were out there, so this becomes a family affair. And Jody Morrison, she's certainly family as well. I love you guys all like family, so thank you for including me in everything that was done this past weekend. I got some notes over here, so if you see me looking over, that's how much stuff I want to make sure I try and cover. It was a pretty emotional weekend for me, because if you missed my last video, I've left Corvette, or I left Sioka Corvette. Made the emotional decision to go back into the food service industry, going to be in food sales. So I left the Corvette community with regards to my professional career, and I wasn't certain how that was going to be received by the community, but overwhelming support from not only Team Chevrolet, but the Caravanners, everyone that I met. Everybody put a positive spin on it. I did spend some time underneath the Sioka Corvette tent. They're a great organization, but the commute was just getting to me. So it came down to a matter of quality of life for me. I was driving an hour and 15 minutes to and from work every day. So I've had a great time out at Corvettes Carlisle, even with that emotional side of it. And I'm thank you to everybody for their support and all their nice comments throughout the weekend. My arm's getting a little tired. I'm going to set the camera down here, looking at my notes. In the video, we're going to cover, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Obviously, we're going to get under the GM tent and see some of the new stuff that was out there. But again, what's unique about this channel, yes, you'll see some of that stuff, but you'll also see it on Brink of Speed. You'll see it on Horsepower Obsessed, Keith Cornett, and I saw all those guys. We're all friends out there. But what this video is going to bring you is some of the things that go on at the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation dinner. It's a charity dinner with a live auction on Friday night. In fact, we raised over $40,000 in one night for amyloidosis research. I was the only one out there with a camera on the Saturday night parade, which is the grand finale of the event. And it's so much more than a parade. It's a carnival atmosphere for all of the folks that live in and around Carlisle, and the GM engineers, for the first time ever, were able to drive in the downtown parade. So we got some ZR1s, ZR1Xs, E-Rays, Z06s cruising through downtown Carlisle. What else? We get inside the race reunion tent, taking a look at all the race cars that were there. The ZR1 display, going back to the C3, C4, C6, and C7 ZR1s. Capture a bunch of special cars. Speaking of Chip Miller and Amyloidosis Foundation, we've got that sweepstakes that's still going on. So I'm going to pin a comment down here below on how you can enter to win a 2026 ZR1 with all the proceeds going to the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation. And you guys think I don't know if you think it's funny or whatnot, but I'm a proud member to be on that board of directors. One of my Corvette caravanners came up to me at Carlisle this past weekend and was very emotional. He's telling me that the Corvette saved his life because if it wasn't for Corvette, he wouldn't have known about the Chip Miller Foundation. He wouldn't have known about amyloidosis if it wasn't for the Chip Miller Foundation. And he was recently diagnosed. He self-diagnosed himself and brought it up to his cardiologist and his doctors. And indeed, he was diagnosed with amyloidosis. So Lewis, wish you nothing but the best, and it's not a death sentence anymore. There are treatments for amyloidosis. So please support the foundation with buying your sweepstake tickets, coming to the dinner next year. It's a great night. It really, really is. Other folks that we run into, Keith Cornett from Corvette Blogger, Steve Garrett from Corvette Today Podcast, Justin, Horsepower Obsessed, Mike from Brink of Speed, Clarence, who I'm now calling Charles, and he knows why. So Clarence from C. Gardner Speed 252, he was in from California. Rick, Corvette Conti, was there. Rick, thank you so much for your support at the Chip Miller dinner. Lyle from C&S Corvettes, Jeremy Wellborn, Sean from the Corvette Invasion down in Texas, and Street Speed 717, while he wasn't there, his ZR1 was there on display out at the Fab Speed display, which he bought that Corvette from Sioka Corvette. And a huge thank you to one of the folks who was out at, Keith, was out at the Chip Miller dinner last year. We were chatting that I was a Steeler fan. He got me this autographed Mean Joe Green photograph. He works in sports marketing. So he brought this to me this year. So again, wonderful people out at Corvettes at Carlisle. What else? Upcoming events. Museum in Motion is going to be out in Hershey, Pennsylvania with National Corvette Museum in Motion, Corvette racing event at the Hershey Museum. I'll put some information up down below as well. Plus, Sioka's Toys for Tots run is the second Saturday in September. So that's coming up real quick. And my local Corvette club is also doing a car show in conjunction with that event at Bader Field. So it's an all-American car show. Every American make and model is welcome to come attend that show at Bader Field. The caravan down the expressway is still going to be exclusively Corvettes, but the car show is new this year and encompassing all American makes and models. So just taking a quick look at my notes here, I think I hit everything. So let's get out to Corvettes at Carlisle, grab an adult beverage and some popcorn, and let's go to Carlisle. So as I promised in that quick introduction, I'm going to try and bring you a little bit of coverage from each day. So today is Thursday. It's the first official start day of Corvettes at Carlisle 2025. It's about 10:30 in the morning. I am just inside of gate 3, and you can see I'm inside of a golf cart here. So figure let's take the golf cart for a ride, show you what it looks like on a setup, or the first day of the show. It's a little bit overcast, and quite frankly, it's the first time I've ever worn a jacket here at Corvettes at Carlisle. It is not 95 degrees with 100% humidity. It's probably in the high 60s, low 70s today. Overcast, no rain, which is great. It did rain a lot yesterday, so a lot of cars coming in probably drove through some weather, but the cars get washed off and get cleaned up. So with that being said, like I said, just inside of gate 3 over here, we got the Solid Axle Corvette Club right over here. You've got, again, it's pretty, I don't want to say, it's not packed just yet, but let's start the golf cart up, wait for traffic to clear here for a second, and we'll see where we go. So if you've never been out to Corvettes at Carlisle, I do highly recommend it. It is a phenomenal time. You'll see everything. Here's a 62, the solid axle cars from 53 to 1962. They have a display right up front here, just as you come inside gate 3. Some beautiful, beautiful cars. Remember, these cars are 70 years old at this point. Some of those older first few model years. And then this section here is going to be set up for Carlisle Blue Corvettes. So tomorrow you're going to see nothing but Carlisle Blue cars. And I see Zippity's Garage, #1 fan over here. Gotta come over and say hello to Glenn and Brandon. How are you guys? How you doing, man? Got the golf cart ready to roll. I said we've got the not teal aqua blue C4 back here. He's normally parked over here waving at everybody, but the Carlisle Blues are going to be set up here. So they stole his spot, but all good. He's set up underneath his tent. Brandon's ready to wave to everybody as he comes in, right, man? All right, good stuff, guys. All right, we'll see you later, all right? So again, Brandon and Glenn, they came down to the dealership down to Seoka probably late July for a nice little visit. It was great seeing them. So you can see the Carlisle Blues getting set up here, a bunch of the Carlisle Blue Corvettes. And the cool thing is, if you have a Carlisle Blue Corvette, Corvettes at Carlisle is a free event for you. You do not need to pay to get in. Callaway, this is going to be their owner's showcase in this corner, so a big Callaway display. I mentioned the car wash, so Adams Polishes donates a lot of product and buckets and so forth, and they got all different hoses set up here, so you can wash the grime off of your Corvette that you drove in to Corvette to Carlisle. Women's Oasis, nice tent up here for the ladies to partake of, and then I know it says pedestrian traffic only, but we're rule breakers today, so we're going to break some rules. But all kinds of food, beverages. They've got beer on site. So again, there's something for everybody here. These are a bunch of race cars. That's what's being set up this year. So you got the race car reunion underneath this tent. As the weekend goes by, I'll be sure to get under some of these tents to capture some of what you're going to see. Really cool vintage race cars set up here, so a great little display, and no place else are you going to see this type of collection of cars. On Saturday, Friday and Saturday, this parking will be completely filled. Up on the hill over here will be completely filled as well. This is what's referred to as the fun field, and you've got some segmented parking. So like I said, you know, these are the ZR1s, all in that group there, ZR1 registry. Here is the Grand Sport registry, one of the bigger groups, and this is such a cool display. For those that don't know, the 1996 Grand Sport came as an Admiral blue car with the white stripe, and so they were all painted the same. So it's not like a C6 or C7 Grand Sport where you could choose your color. So when the 96 Grand Sports are on display, really makes for a really cool setup because you get to see all the cars and they're all the same color. So see what foot traffic looks like here. We've got AWE exhaust systems set here. Traffic doesn't look too terrible, so we're going to take a ride down. But AWE set up in Horsham, Pennsylvania. Got a great exhaust systems there set up. You got East Coast Supercharging over here. Guys from Cream Ridge, New Jersey. ECS is on display, showing their wares. Justin from Horsepower Obsessed is in the house. He's doing his thing. You got Ed from Wheelcraft Designs here doing his thing, and I think that's my wheel right there. So we'll come back and see hi to Ed in a little bit. So again, and here's the General Motors tent. So this is all the Corvette display. You've got new 2026s. There's the ZR1X in the new green, and they're doing a seminar right now, a tech talk on the new interior. So try and be quiet as we drive by. But Ron Fellows Spring Mountain Driving School set up here as well. Brooke, there's one Mr. Mike Furman with his blue E-Ray on display. Hello, Michael. So Mike's doing his thing with his little, little wave. The National Corvette Museum's over here as well. Seeing lots of caravanners. What's happening, guys? Michelin, Nowicki Autosports. Again, just all the different vendors that are here. Kind of like I said, I won't be able to do this on Friday or Saturday because the foot traffic's just going to be ridiculous getting through here. But you can see all the different vendors, and this is, not just, again, you got a car capsule, not just exhaust systems and wheels, a little bit of everything here. And then in another segment here, I'll be sure to capture some of the swap meet stuff, which is down back here, behind the grandstands. But as kind of letting traffic clear, I'm going to come up here. Here's the Chip Miller amyloidosis tent. This is kind of where I will be spending most of the weekend. So there's Rebecca. They're all right? This is where the folks from Chip Circle check in for, and then we have a wonderful dinner set up on Friday night, which unfortunately at this point has been sold out, but that's great for the foundation. And I'm gonna cruise through here. Again, not really supposed to be doing this on a golf cart, but hey, I'll beg forgiveness. American Collectors Insurance is set up. There's Adams Polishes. They're all set up with their display. You've got a Corvette raffle. They'll sell out of those raffle tickets by the end of the weekend. I think they're 150 bucks. And there's the black Stingray up on the stage here that was delivered from Sioka Corvette. You can win that 2025 Stingray. Speaking of Sioka Corvette, I'm gonna cruise over here. DJ Ron is spinning some tunes. There's a 53 Corvette up on the main display as well. And then here is the Sioka tent. And for those that don't know, I did leave Sioka, so I am no longer at Sioka Corvette. But I helped these guys get everything set up. You got Lee and Brandon over here setting things up. What's up, Lee? Good to see you, man. Here's Brandon doing his thing.
How's it going,
Johnny Vo. What's up, JV?
How are you,
so our Corvette manager extraordinaire. Again, the Sioka trailer. And you can see we've got all the cars on display here. And we kind of purposely did it on, you know, Dane DeFeo helped put together the cars. We got a nice display of colors. Pretty much every color here with the exception, I'm trying to think, we're missing one of the colors. I think Hysteria. We don't have the purple. And they're all wide body cars. So they're all either Z06s or E-Rays that are set up on display. There's Dane. Say hi, Dane. Check out Dane's got a new channel as well, so I'll be sure to plug that here too. But Seawolf car, which has been discontinued. And then this is something you've seen in my previous videos where we did the matte finished PPF E-Ray. So we got that car prepped and ready to bring out here to the show field out at Corvettes of Carlisle. So this one is a new car available. E-Ray convertible 2LZ with the matte finish from Expel. Speaking of Expel, they're right here next to us, and you can see they're doing installs right here on the fairgrounds. So again, this is all part of the experience at Corvettes at Carlisle. You can see Expel is actually on the fairgrounds here doing the installations right here at the fairgrounds. So this is somewhat of a little known fact, call it a secret if you will, and I am putting it out on the internet, and I've done it in my previous Corvettes at Carlisle videos. But there is employee parking or vendor parking if you will for those vendors that come out of Corvettes at Carlisle. Well, one of those vendors is Team Corvette, Team Chevrolet that come in from Detroit, and they've got to drive cars from Detroit down to Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Well, they have to park those cars somewhere on the fairgrounds. And I'm going to spin this around. You can see this is Thursday morning. It's still a little overcast and so forth, but it's great because it's not 95 degrees with 100% humidity. But the parking for Team Corvette is right over here. That's the autocross course on the fairgrounds. That's the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And here is a row of Corvettes and a Cadillac Escalade V. So let's take a quick walk past some of these Corvettes that Team Corvette, Team Chevrolet drove out here. ZR1 with a high wing. E-Ray, carbon fiber wheel. E-Ray, black wheel on it, convertible. ZR1X, what's really cool about this is there's no high wing on this. So this is a non-ZTK wing on a ZR1X. And these are the CTF cars. You can see the captured test fleet. So these are the cars that Chevrolet employees will drive to put test miles on, if you will. E-Ray, exposed carbon fiber wheel with the natural interior, visible carbon fiber ground effects. We've got a Z06 here, right? Yeah, Z06 red convertible with the new red interior. Most of these are all 26s. There's one 2025 in and amongst the group. Yellow Z06 with the ZTK wing, black painted arrow on this car. ZR1X convertible, exposed carbon fiber with the big wing on the back. And again, I've done this in the past, but look, that's a Z06 wing. And everybody thought the Z06 wing was massive. Look at the ZTK wing on the ZR1. The ZR1 wing dwarfs that Z06 wing. Got an orange E-Ray, and looks like we've got an exposed car. No, it's the new roof. So this is the new roof panel that has 3 settings on it with as far as the tint level and the level of sunlight that can come through. So this is done up in body colored here, carbon flash surround, and then this glass part, again, electronic, chromatic, getting the wording wrong, but it has 3 different settings to allow different amounts of light come through into the cockpit. ZR1X done up in silver, and this has the asymmetrical interior. So you've got a competition red competition seat on the driver's side, which has the red driving or racing stripe on front, and then you have a GT2 black seat in the passenger seat. So the corresponding black stripe runs down the entire vehicle. So this has got that asymmetrical interior and the asymmetrical racing stripes on it. Really, really good looking color combination with the black, silver, and red. You've got another ZR1X here with no wing. Again, you get the ZR1X logo on the side, and then the additional radiator up front on the driver's side. Hysteria purple, done up as an E-Ray with the polished wheels. Again, visible carbon fiber, and this has got the Sky Cool gray interior inside of it. Let's take a walk behind the cars. Again, all the visible carbon fiber on the ZR1, but these things are just beautiful. So again, the E-Ray's got the outboard exhaust pipes. ZR1 and Z06 all have the center exit exhaust, but just gorgeous setup. Here's that asymmetrical car. You can see how that stripe carries through the entire vehicle. E-Ray, outboard exhaust. ZR1X, big wing, next to that Z06 big wing. Cruising down here, Z06 with no wing. E-Ray with the low wing. ZR1X with the low wing. E-Ray convertible low wing. E-Ray coupe with the exposed carbon fiber wheel. And a ZR1 all exposed carbon on this one. And they went with the traditional standard exhaust tips on this one with the standard wheel and the chrome badging on this particular car. Really beautiful setup. So these cars all came in from Detroit, driven here to Pennsylvania, and this is kind of like the top secret parking spot. And again, the crowds up around the General Motors tent are massive right now, trying to get close to these cars. This is a great way to get to see them up close and personal.
That's how you sell a car. Turn it on, yeah.
So as you can tell, I'm now over at the GM Engineers tent, and that's one Miss Devon Blue. Starting up, unlocking the cars. This is the E-Ray with the new Santorini Blue, done up in silver. And again, and my friend Rick here, Rick Conti, doing his thing as well. Met a family from Germany, took a couple pictures. I'll put a couple photos here. They came over and said hello, but Rick's doing some pictures and video of the Santorini. You can see the new blue caliper on the E-Ray, which is available. Looks nice with the Santorini. And again, Santorini's new. It is available, you know, you've got some different Cadillacs that have this color as trim, but not as a full leather seat. So this is a GT2, and like all of these new higher end interiors, they are all required to be a 3LT or a 3LZ. You can see that beautiful blue stitching on this leather airbag, the center stripe as well, really beautiful. There's the new charging pad, and this charging pad still remains. So you've got 2 wireless charging locations for the new interior in 26. So do your thing, man. Everybody wants to see the new interiors. Speaking of new interiors, there's a Stingray over here that has the asymmetrical setup where it's 2 different colors. And this particular one has the competition seat in red on the driver's side. So you can see that comp seat here for the driver. And then this one has the GT2 seat in black with red stitching. So this is an option now where you can get the comp seat on one side and the GT2 seat on the other side. And then also, this is a Stingray. Now, I don't have the keys to start it, but it was previously reported by me because I was told by one of the GM Chevrolet trainers up at my Chevrolet training that this car was going to have start-stop, that there would be a start-stop button here. That is not the case. So for Stingrays, the start-stop feature is not on the Stingray. The start-stop feature is only remaining on the E-Ray as well as on the ZR1X. So no start-stop for the Stingray. Now this is the one that everybody's trying to get around. It's a little bit after 8 a.m. Tried to get down here as early as I could before everybody shows up. They're going to be 5, 6, 7 people deep here. And this is the ZR1X. Love it in the green with the yellow caliper, yellow stitching, all the exposed carbon fiber on this car, which is standard on all the ZR1s. So again, beautiful yellow stitch, beautiful spec. Again, in the Roswell green, really has been very well received here at Corvettes at Carlisle. You can see this center, the split window, if you will, done up here in body color. Because again, if you did that up in carbon fiber, it tends to disappear a bit, if you will, kind of blends in. There's that huge wing on the ZR1, just an unbelievable large wing. Again, it dwarfs the Z06, and I mentioned this in a previous video. Look where the body ends here. The wing ends out here, almost another foot of range. So if you're backing into a parking spot, make sure you leave yourself plenty of room if you've got this wing on your car. Now we got another new interior over here on the orange car. This is the first time I've seen this particular one in person. I really like it. Sky cool gray with a habanero or orange stitching. Again, really nice combination. Again, this is going to be a 3LZ or 3LT trim level to get this interior, but it's gorgeous. Kind of a two-tone gray inside, the darker section in the center portion of the seat. The bolsters are done in the traditional sky cool gray, and this one has the carbon fiber insert as well. You can see, for those that have been asking, the front lift button is going to be down here in the new interior. Your toggle switch there is what changes your drive modes, and that center stack of buttons is off of the grab bar. It's now a grab bar, and the buttons have been relocated. And then on the grab bar, there's also a USB port on there. So you've got another place to charge or plug in a device as well. Orange calipers on this particular car, which means it has the carbon ceramic brakes. So that is a must order. If you want the orange calipers, you got to get the carbon ceramic brakes. Then they have a cutaway ZR1 here, and this has got the 2025 interior in this one. Again, if you've been out to any of the major events, you've seen this cutaway car in the past. It's a pretty cool setup, and it's got the ZTK tires on it. Again, you can see they're borderline slicks, but they do grip. That's exactly what you want them to do. So again, it's already starting to fill up here at the GM Engineers tent. So I'm going to get back over to the Chip Miller Amyloidosis tent. We'll bring you some coverage from that dinner later this evening. So more fun and games to come out of Corvettes at Carlisle 2025. So stick around. So we are inside of the Carlisle Expo Center here for the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation dinner. I'm going to take you around. We're selling some raffle tickets here. We've got Lance. We got these beautiful vintage Corvette t-shirt and the beautiful Corvette dress. Absolutely beautiful, ladies. Oops, sorry, Rob. DJ Rob spinning some toes. I almost took him out, though. Sorry, man.
Where's your backup alarm?
I don't have a backup light. Sorry. So we got board members here. We got Lance doing his thing. What's up? And we've got the Corvette race cars that were out on display under the tent. You saw the video of these things coming into the Expo Center, which was amazing. You see the room's filling up. A little bit over 400 people here this evening. And we've got raffle tickets. Hello. I'll be back. So Kathy Nolan over there and her husband. I'll be back, Kathy. So we've got a bunch of Chinese, or call it raffle items here, where you put your tickets in and we get a winner. Really cool stuff. Real Legos from Lego Technic with the C8, and then we got some other Legos here too. But some really special stuff. Some of these autographed with Taj and Harlan. Racing stuff that's autographed. We've got the C5R print. Ron Fellows, Johnny O'Connell, and Gary Pratt signatures on it. Very cool piece. All the different generations of the Corvettes. Some really cool artwork. This particular print was being handed out today at the fairgrounds from General Motors. So autographed by Team Corvette, Team Chevrolet, and everybody that's here today. Again, some Richard Prince autographed prints. And then later, we have a live auction. And these are some of the items that are going to be going off tonight here for live auction. Some original prints from J.D. Orr. Beautiful print of one of the original Grand Sports that's still unrestored. This is, I forget which number Grand Sport, but it was driven by George Weatherstein, and this is still unrestored, and it's at the Simeone Museum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've met George. I've seen this car run. The cool thing about the Simeone Museum is actually they run the cars on demo days in their parking lot. I've seen this thing going sideways in South Philadelphia at the Simeone Museum. A number 3 print, that's the number 3 car. The number 3 car is right over there. So the car that's over there is this car that's on this print. And this is the original driver's signature, John Fitch, who passed away a number of years ago. Will Cooksey print, autographed. The Will Cooksey edition Z06 with a couple of t-shirts. A Dana Forrester original print from Callaway, a Callaway at Callaway. Really cool. And then this was donated from Lyle from C&S Corvettes in Sarasota, Florida. He built this and engineered it. It is a C8R Lego, and it is a 1/8 scale, so a lot larger than the one from Lego. This was a checkered flag blanket made by Jody Morrison. Again, a beautiful American flag print, beautiful golf bag. And back here, we've got one of my club members, Vince McCauley, and his son Aiden made up this really cool Lego man. And on the back, look, you see the 25 and the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation. So this is going to be auctioned off. We've got you can't find carbon fiber for your C8. We've got some carbon fiber wings here that we're going to be autographed by Team Chevrolet. We've got a Corvette racing bumper here that we'll get Team Chevrolet to sign. And these, last year, they had a couple of these made. These are titanium rods out of a Z06, C8 Z06, but they've been modified to be a can opener. So titanium rod can openers, one of a kind. You can't find that anywhere else. You got Spring Mountain Ron Fellows certificate. That's going to be auctioned off later tonight. But again, these beautiful L88 Corvettes, the race cars. You see all the people that are in here. Team Chevrolet is going to be here tonight. Tony Roma's in the house. Harlan Charles will be over. Devin Blue. We've got Corvette clubs from Northern Virginia Corvette clubs here this evening. We've got Tri-Cities from down in the Carolinas. How are you guys doing? River Cities Corvette Club's out here tonight, so they always show up in force, so thank you for coming out. There's another one. You guys can wave too. All right, there we go. So my local club is here, the Allentown area Corvette. Rick Conti's in the house, man.
Great to be here.
Awesome, man. Thanks for being here, Rick. So Rick's in the house. Again, we're having fun trying to find my club. Here's Allentown. Laura, say hi, Laura. There's Mart, there's the Allentown crew. We've got some of the Garden State guys over here. Here's some more Garden State guys. Randy, Garden State here in the house. So again, how come Tim and Kelly aren't sitting next to each other? Tim's going to be raising his arm up all night, going to be bidding. Exactly. There you go. So go get him, Kel. So the history behind that, Tim likes to bid tonight in the auction. All right, we got it. Love it, man. Good to see you. That's right. Got a rub punch, baby. So again, the Carlisle crew's here. Here's the line for the bar tonight. Again, we're going to have a lot of fun here tonight. And again, this is all just part of Corvettes at Carlisle. So if you're interested in coming out to the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation dinner, this is held Friday night of every Corvette weekend, and it sells out before the weekend festivities begin. So here's Kathy. I got to come over and say hi to Kathy. Hello, dear. How are you, sweetheart? So nice to see you. Thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Tom. How you feeling? Good to see you guys. So
Missouri.
from Missouri. I love it. Thank you for being here tonight. It's your first time to Carlisle? Awesome. What do you think so far? Good, good. So let me see how your right arm moves. We got a live auction later tonight, so so you just keep jabbing them in the ribs. So awesome. So we're from Kansas. All right, excellent. Kansas in the house.
I learned to sit on my hands.
You sit on your hands, exactly. So, all right, well, have fun tonight, guys. Thanks for coming out. Yep. So again, people from all over the country are here this evening. So again, thank you very much. There's Judy. Hi, Judy. Yep. The Chip Miller Foundation board is here in force tonight. So we're going to have some fun tonight, guys. All right, so stick around for more fun and games to come out of the event tonight. I see Team Chevrolet showing up. That big old Cadillac Escalade outside there is loaded with all kinds of goodies. So we'll get some more donations from them as well. So Team Chevrolet has shown up in force. They brought an Escalade full of stuff for us. You can see as they're going through now and signing the wings, the carbon fiber wings here, getting autographs from Devin Blue right on there. Again, the whole team is going to be signing these wings. Again, these will be live auction items. And you can see on the back table, we had to bring in a couple more tables for their stuff. So again, we've got some headlights, we've got some tail lights, we've got interior components here. Again, beautiful leather, the habanero orange, black. Yep, just the two wings. You guys already signed the rest of the stuff, you're good. So again, interior parts here, visible carbon fiber pieces, and then look back here. You've got intakes, I'm assuming from the ZR1 since it's blue. So it's either a ZR1 or ZR1X.
That's right.
Yeah.
ZR1.
Pretty badass. Yeah. LT7? Okay, excellent, excellent. And Tony's in the midst of signing this. Again, thank you to Team Chevrolet and Team Corvette for doing this. Again, more interior panels. So you can pop these suckers right out and put them in your, replace it with your car. So really cool stuff. Here's half a wing. If you don't want a full wing, you can get half a wing. So again, door sills for an E-Ray. Really, really cool stuff. Nowhere else can you find this other than at the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation dinner on Friday night at Corvettes at Carlisle. So I'm going to say good morning and happy Saturday because it is now Saturday morning at Corvettes at Carlisle, and I believe you can see the giant American flag behind me here up in the distance up on the hill. Well, let me just start this portion of the video by saying thank you to everyone who came out and supported the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation dinner last night. We had over 400 people in at the dinner last night. I'm exhausted. My voice quite isn't back yet from all the yelling and screaming during the auction. And speaking of the auction, from the folks at Team Chevrolet, from folks that donated, Vince Licoli, one of my club members, Aiden Licoli, and everybody that just donated and helped raise money. Corvette Mike from Corvette Mike of New England donated $1,000 for the scholarship program that the foundation has set up, and that scholarship program gives $1,000 scholarships to students that are heading into the automotive field. both for male and female participants. Obviously, it's, you know, in the mechanic world, it's kind of a male-dominated field, but for anybody going into vehicle design, anything along those lines. So if you're interested in the scholarship or being a part of that scholarship, I'll put my email address down here. Please get in contact with me. It's $1,000 tax deductible, and it's just a great way to help support the next generation of the car enthusiast. But last night, with the help of Team Chevrolet and all the folks that made donations and all the folks that bid, we raised over $40,000 in one night. So again, thank you to everybody that came out to support the dinner. It was a lot of fun. Nowhere else can you see some of these items and have an opportunity to take some of these items home. We auctioned off a couple of visible carbon fiber Z06, Z07 wings, not to mention the blue intakes off of a ZR1. So again, really cool stuff from Team Chevrolet. If you're interested in the dinner for next year, it's held every Friday night, and you can sign up when you sign up for your Corvette Carlisle show field registration. You can get your dinner tickets as well. And the food's great. That's an open bar, great food, and just a fun night. I think it was about 11 o'clock by the time we walked out of there last night after getting it cleaned up. Now we're here to do it again today on Saturday, and we'll get some coverage from the event today, plus the downtown Corvette parade will be in this portion of the video as well. So stick around, let's have some more fun at Corvettes at Carlisle. It is now Saturday morning at Corvettes at Carlisle. Again, 7 a.m. here, and one of the really cool traditions has returned to Corvettes at Carlisle. They have the giant American flag up on display up on the hill. You can see, this is the hill, there's the fairgrounds, and then the show field down below. This is something they started at the truck show a number of years ago, and it was so popular at the truck show, they brought it here to Corvettes at Carlisle. So was fortunate enough to get my C5 under the American flag. Now I've got my C7 under the American flag. Just to put it in perspective, look, the size of a car, that's the size of the flag. It is huge. So thank you to the folks from Carlisle Events and from these massive towing rigs coming out here, setting up this American flag. So cool, and such a beautiful day on Saturday morning here at Corvettes at Carlisle. It's gonna be a great day. While Corvettes at Carlisle is a giant weekend festival car show, there is actually a judged car show as part of the event, and that's the NCCC, National Council of Corvette Clubs, sanctioned judged show field. And judging is done by the York County Corvette Club here, based in central Pennsylvania. And you can see guys are getting their cars set up here for the different classes and so forth. So just like a traditional, you know, I don't want to call it a parking lot show, but one of your local Corvette shows in your neighborhood, they have that same type of thing here set up at Corvettes at Carlisle. So folks are cleaning these things, getting them set up for the presentation and for the judges that'll come around a little bit later today. So one of the other cool things about Corvettes at Carlisle, if you've never been here before, is the car corral. So you've got a couple different pavilions here, Pavilion A and B, which are covered, and then down over the little embankment there is where all the cars for sale are located. And there's no shortage of vehicles here across every generation. You got a beautiful late C3, C6. You're gonna see a bunch of mid-years and a bunch of C1s in here. Again, a couple of C5s as well. Again, and these are all negotiable, all for sale, usually by the owner. There are a couple dealers that set up here as well. So you can find some really good deals out here at Corvettes at Carlisle. But if you want the best selection, you got to get out here on Wednesday or Thursday during either the setup day or the first day to really see what's here available. But if you really want to make a deal, you wait till today, which is Saturday, so that way the vendor doesn't need to take these cars home. So again, these are kind of the, you know, early cars, but then again, you'll see we've got a vendor set up here underneath a tent with a bunch of C7s, a couple of C8s for sale. And again, it's been, I don't want to say picked over or thinned out, but generally these cars here, now it is early on a Saturday morning, so they may not be quite set up yet, but you can see this gentleman here's got his car up for sale, a tent here, again, offering cars up for sale. So if you're looking for a deal, Corvettes at Carlisle might just be the place to find your next Corvette. So every year at Corvettes at Carlisle, they set up a, so So every year Corvettes at Carlisle, inside of Building T, right there, Building T, which is, that's the grandstands and the concessions and all the food court and everything. They set up a really cool display, what's referred to as Chip's Choice. And when Chip was alive, he would choose a certain segment of cars and have this display indoors here in Building T. Well, Lance has taken over that tradition, and this year's Chip's Choice is all about the ZR1s. So we've got every generation of a ZR1 on display here, with the exception of a C8. I've only seen one customer delivered C8 ZR1, and that's Mike from Street Speed 717. It's up underneath the Fab Speed display. We delivered that down at Sioka Corvette. So for those that don't realize, there was a ZR1. That was the original option code RPO in the C3 generation. There's two of the C3 gens here. So here's a 71 chrome bumper car. Again, you see the Goodyear wide oval tires on these things. A 72 ZR1, Jim Anderson owns this one. Let's see, last C3 ZR1 built, one of the rarest Corvettes ever built, only one of 20. So pretty cool with that regard. And the 2025 ZR1 is going to be one of 101. They only built 101 model year 25s. There's another ZR1 89 pre-production car, pretty cool. And again, this has the standard front, early C4 front bumper, but then you can see those wide fender flares on the rear, which fit those massive rear tires. And the C4 ZR1 was way ahead of its time with the 4-cam 32-valve V8 built by Mercury Marine in conjunction with General Motors. 1990, which was the first year available in the C4 generation. Again, that same 4-cam 32-valve. And this particular car is very unique. It's a friend of mine that owns the car. This one is owned by Marty Pinder. What makes this so unique is this is a 1993, which happened to be the 40th anniversary of the car. So it's one of 245 produced. God knows how many are left at this point, but 525 horsepower. And this one had a little bit of modifications done to it by DR Motorsports. So he's had some work done to this car. So this is the ruby red paint, which was available as the 93 40th anniversary car. You can see the 40th anniversary logo here with the ZR1. So really special car, and thanks to Marty for bringing this car out. He lives in southern New Jersey, not far from me. Here's a 95, so this was the last year of the ZR1. The ZR1 was not done in 96. And this one had 405 horsepower from the factory. So again, that same 4-cam 32-valve motor. This one's got a light gray interior off of, I'm not sure the name of the color, probably, this might, I don't think this is black, maybe black rose, but a really, really cool color on that car. Then we move in to the C6 generation, which most people are familiar with. This is the supercharged version, referred to as the Blue Devil. That was the internal code for this car when it was being built, because the then president of General Motors was a graduate of Duke University, and Blue Devils is the mascot of Duke University. So this is a 2009 example. Moving right down the line here, we have a Torch Red example, a 2010, and this one is owned by Joe Clement. Joe is also on the board of directors with the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation, so thank you to Joe for displaying his beautiful Torch Red ZR1. Here we got a maybe Night Race Blue. David Johnson's the owner of this particular car with the silver stripe. And again, that window on the hood is factory. So really, really slick. And yes, looking at the window sticker, it is a Night Race Blue car. This had a window sticker of $125,000 back in 2013. Then you move in to the C7 generations, and this one is owned by Chuck and Cindy Lewis, done up in Sebring Orange, which was the marketing color when GM came out with this car. And this one's a convertible. So this was the first time you could do a convertible in a ZR1, and this has the ZTK package with that massive high wing on the back. Really slick looking car, done up in Sebring. And then we have another Sebring car, and this is owned by one of my local club members, Herb Fishman, and he's got a booth here. He sells a bunch of GM parts as well. So I'll get his information. I'll put a link right down here below. But again, really cool setup. Love the Sebring. So this is your coupe version versus your convertible version there. And then this sucker here looks to be a little bit modified, I would say. Gorgeous race car setup. You can see the racing helmet inside, and just check out the inside of this thing that's been modified for, I'm gonna say, some professional racing out on the track. So really cool setup. Not sure what next year's Chip's Choice display will be, but a really nice representation of the ZR1, celebrating the release of the C8 ZR1 with 1,064 horsepower. Pretty cool stuff. So it's now Saturday afternoon around 1 o'clock or so. It is absolutely gorgeous. Actually a little bit warm, but hey, it's in the 80s. It's bright, sunny, beautiful clouds in the sky. And the place is getting packed. I mean, you can see, I can't get around on a golf cart because you see all this foot traffic that we have now. You can see the grandstands are filled up here, people waiting in the shade, but also what's going to be coming up as I'm fighting the PA announcer. DJ Rob's up here spinning some tunes. Team Corvette, Team Chevrolet is going to be out here, right here in this area here around 1:30 today. In about 10-15 minutes, all these gathered folks here are going to be sitting in to listen about the new 2026 Corvette. So Team Chevrolet really embraces this event. And again, it's them out here talking to the owners and getting real-time feedback on the car. I have had a blast so far today. Earlier today, I was quite humbled. Lance Miller asked me to be a part of the autograph session, so that I got a kick out of that. I was sitting between Pete Calloway and Harlan Charles, and all of Team Corvette was there. Team Chevrolet was there signing autographs as well. We got Harlan over here under the Sioka tent. He's doing his thing, signing some autographs and getting a kind of a farewell tour, if you will, an opportunity to say goodbye to some of the Corvette folks. And the Corvette fans absolutely love Harlan, so it's great to see him out embracing the fan base and so forth. So he's doing his thing here under the Sioka tent. Sioka tent's nice and crowded, people in here asking questions. Brandon's doing his thing, so check out Let's Vet for his video content and so forth. My video content's not going to stop, just won't be as frequent and so forth. But let's sneak out of here. And earlier today, walking around the show field, again, I'm very humbled by all of this. I had a family from Germany came up to me and said, "We watch you in YouTube," in their German accent. So again, really cool. And again, some of the folks that are out here, again, we've got, I'm going to put Bill on camera to say hi.
Hey, how's
from
it going,
Racing
Jeff?
Sport Concepts. He's out here, and our good friend Kirk Benyon's here as well. Again, just it's great to see everybody out embracing Corvettes at Carlisle. So beautiful day today, guys. Right?
Yes, it is.
All right, awesome.
Living large.
Have a great day, guys. We'll see you. Yep, absolutely. So if you're interested in any of that beautiful carbon fiber, if you follow Justin from Horsepower Obsessed, it came from Racing Sports Concepts. So check those guys out. I'll try and get Justin's car on camera. But again, you can see the foot traffic is picked up exponentially, and it's really difficult to get under the GM tent, and any tent for that matter, to try and grab some content. But I'll be sure to visit a couple vendors and so forth to try and feature, county Corvettes. These guys are from the Westchester area, do restorations, modifications. They've always had a nice display set up here. So again, really cool stuff here at Corvettes at Carlisle. The really cool thing that was done back in 2003 when Chip Miller was still here, the Corvette celebrated its 50th anniversary. So what they did is they had a display of 50 1953 Corvettes, which was a pretty spectacular display. And every year since then, they've been celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Corvette model year. So this year is featuring the 1975 Corvette. So we got a couple examples here today. A couple of the cars have pulled out a little bit early, but that's, hey, it's what they have to do. So you got a green one here with green wheels, beautiful side pipes on it. You got a blue, side pipes, convertibles. Again, these are all going to be 1975 vintage Corvettes. Another convertible here Well, you can tell 75s, it's going to have the fiberglass bumpers on the front and rear. And then you've got a yellow convertible here. You don't see too many yellow C3s. So such a cool setup here to see a yellow car from the 3rd generation. And again, all these cars are celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. So if you happen to have a 1976 Corvette, get in touch with the folks at Carlisle Events, and perhaps you can be a part of the 50-year display next year at Corvettes at Carlisle. So gotta love these folks still maintaining these cars 50 years later. Now here we have the race reunion tent, and something that's near and dear to Lance Miller, and for that matter Chip Miller's heart, was racing Corvettes. Not only watching them race, but actually getting behind the wheel and driving them themselves and being race car drivers. So Lance has put together this unbelievable display of vintage Corvette race cars. We showed a few of them at the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation dinner. I could probably do a video on each one of these cars. I'm going to quick walk past and let you kind of take a look at each one. 1957 convertible. I know the history on 1 or 2 of these cars. This looks like another 57 Corvette. We've got what looks to be another 57 Corvette as well. Fuelie 57 red interior. I mean, this still looks very streetable as far as the interior is concerned. And you've got a number 3 Corvette over here, but it's not the 1960 number 3 Corvette. This happens to be a 1957 Sebring racer. Again, all the history on each one of these cars is pretty well documented. And like I said, I could do a video on each one of these cars. This one is probably the most significant under the tent here. This is the 1960 Cunningham Le Mans car. It's the first class-winning Corvette ever at the 24 Hours at Le Mans. Briggs Cunningham was the gentleman owner of the three-car team. So car number 1, car number 2, car number 3 in 1960. And this was restored and found by Chip Miller and restored by one Kevin McKay. And we've got this beautiful Roger Penske Chevrolet here, owned by one Jeremy Wellborn. There's and Mr. Mr. Corvette today as well. Yeah. Steve Garrett. I didn't notice Steve there as well. I did see Jeremy. How are you, sir?
Good to see you, Zippity.
Good to see you guys. So, how you enjoying the weekend so far?
It's fantastic.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So,
if you're not at Corvettes at Carlisle, you ain't nowhere.
Right. So, Jeremy, tell me about this. Sure. The first time I'm seeing it in person, man.
So this was a reproduction 63 Grand Sport.
Okay.
When it was originally built, it was built with an L88 that had not been in anything before, which is crazy. I mean, this was the first thing and only thing that this engine has been in. And then, so I bought it 8-9 years ago from Rick Cost out in California. And then a few years ago, I took it to Duntov Motor Company down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, where they did some transformation of the suspension and some other components to bring it up to more of the 1966 Sebring Grand Sport race car. So the number 1 chassis, original chassis, I wanted to be like that car. And doing that, they gave it the designation of the GM licensed serial number 008 1963 Grand Sport. So it is a GM licensed 63 Grand Sport now, serial number 8. Finished that work and took it to Esoteric Fine Detailing in the Columbus, Ohio area. They did the paint correction, the finishing touches on the car, put the emblems on, and so this is its first outing.
That's why I haven't seen it before.
Getting it re-revealed here in Corvettes at Carlisle, in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Having a blast with it, taking out, showing it off, and having a lot of fun.
Yeah, and no better place to do it. So
exactly. It's got, by the way, it's got Doug Hooper's autograph in it, and also Dick Goldstrand's autograph. I was told by Rick Costa that when Bob Bondurant saw the car in California, he jumped in the seat, sat down, and then autographed the center console. Just nobody asked him to, but he did.
He just did it anyway. Took it upon himself.
His
I love it.
in there.
That's very cool.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Silly question.
Yes.
What's it like to drive and
It is
run through the gears.
mad machine, man.
I can
It is a
imagine.
mad machine. A lot of fun. The engine, we went ahead and had the engine rebuilt while we were having this other work done, and so it's actually probably putting out a few more, a couple hundred horsepower more, maybe than it had, just because it was tired and needed a refresh. So.
And that's what the guys did back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Who said they didn't cheat? They just bent the rules a little bit.
I'm telling you, it's a blast to drive.
Awesome, man. Well,
Jeff,
thanks for having it
catching
out.
up with me.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. It was
Fun
great seeing you.
Yeah.
And thanks again for coming out to the dinner last night,
You
Steve.
bet.
Thank
A
you
lot
for
of
coming out.
Good to see you guys.
Unbelievable seeing you. Thanks for coming out to Carlisle. So
Listen to CorvetteToday.com.
yes, get Corvette Today podcast and the blogger and everything. I said to my viewers I could do a video on each one of these cars.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable the
There's
setup
some
here.
crazy
So,
and I'm sandwiched between the Cunningham car and
Right.
the '66
Yeah.
Penske, where it just history lives.
not a bad place to be
not a
either.
bad
So
place.
absolutely gorgeous. Thanks for bringing it out, guys. So again, if you're not familiar with Steve Garrett, you should be. Corvette podcast, Corvette Today podcast, and he does that weekly show, or every other week he does one with Keith Cornett as well. So you got a 1968 Owens Corning L88 car. The L88 is the, call it the highest factory horsepower. It's the creme de la creme of the Corvette. And you can kind of tell that from the air cleaner that is on these cars. That's what kind of signifies the L88. And those are the big dollar cars when they cross auction. If it's got the L88 motor in it, that's the car to have. Again, and just look at the side pipes coming out of this race car. These things are unbelievable. I got a mid-year here with an L88 427 under the hood. These are big ticket dollar cars, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. And the fact that they're all here at Corvettes at Carlisle is pretty stinking cool. So we got a couple C6s here as well. So again, not just a vintage racing, but call it more current day race cars. So you got a couple of C6s here that are set up for racing. Back to another C6, and back to the C3 cars here. Again, beautiful. These cars have also been featured out at Pebble Beach, down at Amelia Island as well. So I mean, the fact that they're here at Corvettes at Carlisle is huge. These things are international stars when it comes to the racing community. And again, the Amelia Island Corvette or car show, with all the history that Amelia has, these cars are here at Corvettes at Carlisle. So a great display and setup, and getting to talk and interact with the owners is really cool. Then you got a bunch of Corvette Challenge cars. This was a series set up back in the late 80s from the Sports Car Club of America, because Corvette as a factory team was dominating the Sports Car Club of America, and they were winning all of the races. So what the SCCA did is kind of kicked out Corvette, and Corvette went ahead and started their own racing series called the Corvette Challenge. Each car was equally matched, allowing the drivers to become the stars of the vehicle. Again, here's another C4, a 95 Snake Skinner Corvette. This Snake Skinner would be referring to the Dodge Viper. Very nice livery. Again, another challenge car. And then we've got, I'm sorry, this is not the challenge car. This is one of the Morrison cars. And this is the one that broke the FIA record in March of 1990. And let's see, we got a Callaway over here with the Aero body kit. So it's one of 3 that were built in bright aqua metallic. And it has the Aero kit on it, which is this front fascia and so forth that you see across the front, just adding more aerodynamics to the car, because you can add more horsepower, but the way you can cheat the wind is with those aerodynamic features, and that's exactly what the Aero body coupe does. And this one happens to be a twin turbo ZR1. So again, very special cars out here at Corvettes at Carlisle under the race reunion tent. So one of the cool custom cars set up here at Corvettes at Carlisle is this Can Dig It designed Corvette. It's a Corvette, thank you Carl, Corvette and Corvair concept. And it is an absolute one-off, completely custom, hand-built. The entire frame is one sheet of aluminum that's been completely formed by hand to get this unbelievable shape. And look at the windshield, the molding around it, the engine itself, all hand built. Absolutely custom and kind of based off of a 1953 Corvette, as well as what a Corvair, if a Corvette and a Corvair ever got together. It's been featured on a television show. Unfortunately, I didn't watch the TV show, but again, it's owned by a couple out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Designed and built by Kindigit Design out in Salt Lake City, Utah. And you can see, hopefully this comes through on the video, but the process of what this thing was all about. Just a really cool, one-of-a-kind setup. Again, the interior, everything about it is custom and unique to the car. And the funny thing is this is right next to the Chip Miller Amyloidosis tent, which is right over here. And normally as a board member, I'm fortunate that I get to park next to the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation for the weekend. And when I got here, Jody and Lance said, Jeff, we had to put a tent in your parking spot. So there's a tent here. So I jokingly said, oh good, I get to park under a tent. They're like, no, you don't understand. The tent is taking my parking spot. So what I did is kind of configured my own little parking spot right here in between the two tents, right next to the Chip Miller Amyloidosis tent and the Kindigit Design Corvette Corvair concept. But you can see it's Saturday, but we're still out here selling the wares from the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation. Andy and Diane are doing their thing. We had a great night last night. We've got some of the shirts out here for sale as well. So if you're interested in all this stuff, this is all available on chipmiller.org. So another special Corvette, and this is kind of one that you would just walk past and just think it has some decals or some uniqueness to it. But this is owned by a friend of mine, lives out in Ohio, named Scott McKeever. And it is a 2009, and call it a skinny body, because meaning it's not a wide body Grand Sport or Z06, but it's got an LS3 under the hood. You can see that here. He's got some dress up and so forth on the car. But what makes this unique, and I don't know the RPO code, but GM offered a RPO code that sent this to an upfitter, and they did what was called the CSR kit. I think it was Corvette Street Racer or something along those lines. And they massaged the motor. This thing's close to 475 horsepower and it's a factory option. And they did less than 100 of them. So these things are pretty unique and different. In fact, he's got a setup here. I'm going to reach inside his car. And again, competition sport. So competition sport, the Corvette competition sport. There we go. And you can see there's a picture of the car right there. And this is inside of Keith Cornett's Special Edition, which is a great book, by the way. I have a signed copy at home. And Keith Cornett actually went for a ride in this car. I believe it was around Daytona International Raceway when the car was new. And Keith was here this weekend, Corvette blogger, and he actually picked this car as his celebrity choice. And 2025 celebrity choice by Keith Cornett, the Corvette blogger. What's unique about the car is it's a factory RPO option with that massaged horsepower. And as part of the package, you got contrasting headlight buckets. So you got I believe it's cyber gray against the blade silver paint. The gray wheels on the car, the drilled rotors. Each one of them came with the decals or the stripes, as well as the numbered doors. And the car, when it starts up, sounds like a regular standard C6. But as it warms up a little bit, you start to hear that chop of the big camshaft that's inside this car. So Scott's had it for about 2 years now. And what's wild is he'll bring it to a car show, and even here at Corvettes at Carlisle, people walk by it and really don't know what the car is. So it's kind of a sheep in a wolf in sheep's clothing, if you will. So a very special edition C6 Corvette that not a lot of people know about. So very cool car out here at Corvettes at Carlisle. Again, focusing in on some of the special Corvettes that are out here at Corvettes at Carlisle. This is a friend of mine's from my local Corvette club, Vince Licoli, his wife Wendy, and son Aiden. And Aiden has been struck with a disease called Cushing's disease. And the color scheme for Cushing's awareness is light blue and yellow. So when Aiden was younger, they really got into Legos and into Corvettes. So what they've done, they've kind of paired those two things up. So my buddy's car is rapid blue with all of these beautiful yellow accents, completely customized now with all kinds of really cool setups. Just got this here this weekend, a really cool LED setup to go along with these LEDs up top, but then you can see the yellow accents throughout the entire car. And again, back here as well. Really nice setup. And then a lot of the items that were won last night at the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation dinner from Team Corvette. And one of the items that was donated last night from these guys was a little Lego man, something very similar to this that Aiden custom makes. And the winner of that last night was one Rick Conti. Rick Corvette Conti was there last night, so he was the proud bidder or highest bidder for the Mr. Lego Man. But you can see they've got their RV set up here. They're kind of down back by, there's the food court. So this is where they're set up this year. Probably going to be back here again next year. That's the idea. You kind of have the same spot year after year. But they're selling a lot of their custom Lego made stuff. In fact, Vince's wife Wendy made this, completely engineered it herself, sourced all the pieces, and a really cool C8 Lego. And like I said, they're busy. On Friday and Thursday and Friday, there were probably 3-4 people deep here at this particular setup. But again, lots of cool stuff, custom, 3D printed and so forth. You can see the little Lego men. I might have to get one of these because these are all Corvette racing drivers. And look at this thing. This is really cool. And so again, I'm gonna just cruise down all the tables. They got the kids here checking stuff out. They're trying to sink quarters into the little glasses there. And again, these are real Lego setups here that they're selling as well. So again, and a bunch of custom stickers and so forth. But you know, here's Vince. Let me say hi to Vince. Vince, how you doing, man?
Good, how you doing?
Excellent, man. So what'd you think of the dinner last night?
It was awesome.
Good,
It was
good.
fantastic.
Thanks again for being a part of it and for donating as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I was just telling the guys, the little Lego man that Aiden made went for a little bit over $600, and
Yep.
Rick Corvette Conti took that sucker home. So
Yes, it was fantastic.
we'll
Great
see if we-
time. Got some cool stuff myself
yeah,
too.
absolutely. We've got some autographed headlights and so forth, and some the print, again, stuff that you can't find anywhere else, you know. And the GM or the ZR1 manifold that was autographed, that was pretty cool too.
Yes, it was. It was
So-
fantastic. A great time. Enjoy it
Excellent.
every year.
Glad to hear it. We'll see if we can get Rick over here and get some pictures next to the car as well.
Yes,
So he's a
please.
rapid blue guy.
Yes,
so,
he is. Yes.
All right, excellent, guys. So I'm going to continue to find some really cool cars to cover in this segment for Saturday today. So really cool stuff from Aiden and his family. Corvettes and Legos. What a great combination. One of the cool things that happens on Saturday here is Aerolari is one of the parent sponsors of the event, and they do a parade through the fairgrounds featuring the vehicles with Aerolari wheels. So here's just a small example of what's coming through the fairgrounds, and they're cruising around, being led by security here. And I'll let it roll for a minute or two, and you can see some of the Aerolari wheels for the wide-body C7s as well as the C8 Corvettes. So some pretty cool cars. There comes my buddy Vince Licoli, Mr. Lego Man. And the cool thing about Aerolari wheels, I believe it's roughly $299 or $499. They make a limited run of the wheels, and then that's it. Here's Carlisle Events and their marketing team kind of doing the same thing we're doing here, covering this. And again, just a cool way to have fun with stuff. This car here has got two different sets of wheels. So he's got orange on this side, or deep bronze. On the other side of the car, it's a different set of wheels. Won't be able to capture it here. There's cacti green. You don't see cacti green very often. So pretty cool seeing the Aerolari wheels. Okay, so I've grabbed a golf cart. Hopefully you can hear me. The mic's facing the wrong direction. But I got myself a golf cart. and going for a little ride. There's the grandstands, so we're kind of behind the food court. I'm going to kind of take you through the swap meet area a little bit here. And this is kind of how the event Corvettes at Carlisle and Fall Carlisle, Spring Carlisle, and so forth really got its start. Back before the internet is what it is today. And if you were restoring a car, this is where you came to find all the different parts that might be available to you and so forth again. And it's still that way today. You can see these vendors come from all over the country with their products. And again, if you can't find it online, you can probably find it here at Corvettes at Carlisle. There's a ton of different vendors here. This is kind of, like I said, away from the grandstands, and it's really cool. Now, granted, people say, oh, it's not what it used to be. And the reason being is, I think the hobby has really changed, because those that, you know, could come through here and look at a part laying on the ground and know exactly what it is and what it fits, those folks, quite frankly, they may have passed on at this point. But there's still plenty of folks that want to restore a car, and here's one of the best, Al Knock. If you've got a first generation, second generation mid-year car, third gen car, these guys are known as the interior specialists. In fact, when folks are reselling cars, they will call out the fact that they have an Al Knock soft top roof or an Al Knock interior. They are that well known in the hobby. And again, you can see folks up here. And like I started to say, I think the hobby has transitioned from the old cars into the new cars. But again, even parts for the new cars are out here as well. You know, you're looking for a glass top, looking for a set of seats and so forth for a C7, C8. You want to build a resto mod, here's the chassis for it. So again, a lot of this stuff down here back below the grandstands is where you will see a lot of the swap meet stuff. Still really, really cool and great stuff for your garage art. Well, here we go. The downtown Corvette parade in Carlisle. Here they come. Bill Miller, Lance Miller. They're all doing their thing. Great to see you guys. What's happening, man? And then we have GM engineers for the first time. They have been approved. General Motors generally does not allow. Good to see you guys. How are you? Does not allow. What's happening, sir?
Bill. He can't hear you.
No, Bill can't hear you. There's Devin and Percy. Seeing you guys. Have fun. Tony. What's happening, man? In the ZR1X convertible. Here comes Josh. What's happening, guys? Good to see you. Here comes that Blade Silver ZR1X. Austin's driving. What's up, guys? Good to see you, man. A high five. There you go. Have fun.
Thank you.
ZR1X. Here comes the comp yellow car. Thanks for being out here, man. I'm glad you guys were able to do this. Here comes Dave and the E-Ray. E-Ray making some noise. Love it, Dave. Have fun, guys. Look good, Tony. All right, here comes our Chip Circle group. Thank you guys so much for being out here, man. It's been a blast all weekend. Chip Circle's out. What's up, Carlton? Man, how are you? Look at you, looking good. Love it, love it. Lance and Denise. They're all having fun. You can see they're starting to line up. They're gonna get parked down there, but they're still rolling through in the CAR. They're waving to everybody. I love it. I love it.
Riding in style. I love it, girl. Yeah. We got a puppy dog over here in the passenger. Look good, man. Looking good. You got to. Diane, Jim, car artwork. Look good, guys. Isn't this parade fun? This is their first time doing it, too. Awesome. They're having a great time tonight. They're generally here as vendors. My caravanners are out here. So again, everybody's Kathy! So again, and not only all the new stuff. Here comes the 62. Loving the 62. Good to see you, sir. Do you have an extra key fob? Len and Becky.
Hey, how are you? Hey.
Have fun, guys. I love it. I love it. They got their Stingray, Rapid Blue, Peacock. What's happening, sir? How you doing, man? Looking good. Have fun tonight. You can see everybody's out having fun. Myrtle Beach Corvette Club, and they're videotaping us, videotaping them. So they're all having fun. Hey, I know this guy. What's going on? What's happening, Adam? The guys from National Corvette Museum Insurance, baby. Looking good in their car. Again, all the live music. Looking good. Cruising through. What's up? C5Z06. This is not a fun parade car. No roof, you got a clutch, you got to deal with it all. But he's having fun. Cumberland Valley Corvette Club, local guys, looking good. Kids are having fun throwing Tootsie Rolls and candy along the parade route. There's 5 people in that car. They're looking great, too. And this is just a small sample of the cars coming through the parade. There are a few hundred Corvettes that will be in this parade throughout the night, and it turns into a street party. Certain you can hear the live music coming from the band way up here, and then as the sun goes down, the folks with the LED lights and so forth, they start to have some fun with all the cool stuff that they have on their cars. Yep. Alice in Wonderland motif on this car. Check that out. Got the Mad Hatter driving it. I love it. 96 Grand Sport looking good. The Skunk looking good. Sounds good too. 3 of them in that C3. I love it. Love all the customization on these cars. Again, manual transmission cars are no fun in a parade. Trust me, I know. With my Z06 fixed roof coupe, but it's still fun. Is this a Will Cooksey? Sure looks like a Will Cooksey car. Yes, it is. Looking good too. Beautiful 427. Grand Sport. Beautiful car. Beautiful car. And here comes what I like to refer as my Grand Marshal, Mr. Tim. Looking pretty in pink, looking good, my friend. Always looking good. So you can see, they're all parked up along here. They're starting to stage over the side. Here's Sean. He's got his Corvette Invasion coming up next July in Texas. So he's up here from Texas to promote his event. So hopefully we'll be down to see you in July.
We look forward to seeing you.
All right, my friend.
Take care.
Yep. Have fun tonight, guys. Again, this turns into a massive street party. And again, all of the locals, they're lined up for blocks and blocks. So again, more to come from the downtown parade. We got the Allentown Area Corvette Club over here hanging out in front. Had a great dinner tonight. So, and ask Laura what's in her coffee cup right there. Her secret is safe with me. It's not coffee, folks. So again, everybody lined up having fun tonight. and that's what this is all about family, friends. You only get to see maybe once or twice a year, but it's an absolute joy to be out here tonight. So if you're familiar with downtown Carlisle, I am literally standing in the middle of the street. We got Adam Boca there from National Corvette Museum Insurance doing his thing. You can see you guys. So they're getting ready to head to Bowling Green tomorrow. But we are at the corner of High Street and Hanover. And literally, and I got my adult beverage, we've got a street full of Corvettes this way, street full of Corvettes this way, Corvettes that way, and Corvettes that way. So again, every direction you turn, you're going to get to see Corvettes at the downtown Carlisle parade. This is one of the highlights of the weekend. This is kind of the final event, kind of the cherry on top of a wonderful, wonderful weekend. You got the Carlisle, fine folks from the Carlisle Police Force out here. The Chamber of Commerce is the ones that run this event. So I'll see if I can't continue to catch some of the cool cars once the sun goes down. So super thank you to Team Chevrolet for being a part of this as well. So again, such a cool event and a great way to put a cherry on the top of Corvettes at Carlisle 2025.
Well, it is now Sunday morning of Corvettes at Carlisle Weekend 2025, and Saturday night's grand finale, the downtown Corvette, the downtown Carlisle parade, was an epic finish. Walking out of the hotel this morning a little bit hoarse, a little bit tired. The hotel is kind of emptied out as far as Corvette enthusiasts are concerned. You can see this lot last night, with every spot in here was filled with a Corvette over the course of the weekend. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Corvettes left in the lot. Just an unbelievable weekend. Like I said earlier, not just Corvettes at Carlisle, it's friends at Carlisle. I've been doing this event for over 20 years. The friendships we've made, it's priceless, if you will. If you've never done the downtown parade, I highly recommend it. It's more than just a parade. Obviously the Corvettes are in the parade, but it's a downtown carnival festival, if you will. The locals come out in massive amounts. It's more than just 2 or 3 people on a street corner wanting to see the cars drive by. Last night, the GM engineers, for the first time in probably forever, first time in forever, right? Frozen the musical. They were able to participate in the parade, and they offered such a cool perspective as they were watching and driving past everyone. A couple of the folks, the engineers, were passengers in the parade, and just even had just as much fun as the drivers because they were able to soak it all in. I personally didn't go in the parade. I was out capturing some of the footage for it, and again, have a blast because I could see a lot more of it. But there's blocks and blocks and blocks of Corvettes. Over, I think it's probably 500 Corvettes are in the downtown parade. So if you haven't done it, please consider doing it and sign up early because it sells out well before the Corvette weekend. If you've never been out to any of the Carlisle event weekend shows, highly recommend it. GM Nationals, if you've got a Ford product, if you're local, come out to spring or fall Carlisle. Those are great events. But thank you to everybody, all the subscribers, customers, friends, GM engineers, the Miller family, Jody Morrison, Tim, the whole crew, my original Garden State Corvette Club, Allentown Area Corvette Club, and the countless people that came up and said hello and wished me well on my next chapter of my professional career. So the videos will continue. So I'm going to jump in the car, head back home, get ready for work on Monday morning. Stick around to the end of the video. I promise you some of the stills and some of the photos that I took from the weekend as well. So I'll set that to some music and get that going here. Like I said, the videos will continue, whether it's from Sioka, car shows, other events, Corvette related stuff. I'm not going anywhere, guys. I am a Corvette enthusiast through and through. Thank you to all those that came out for the Chip Miller Amyloidosis Foundation dinner on Friday night. And again, hope everyone made it home safely to wherever you may call home, whether it's in the United States or abroad, because we've met quite a few international travelers here this weekend as well. So stick around for the still videos and some music, and we'll see you on the next episode of Zippity's Garage.